There is a brutal, high-stakes game of evolutionary survival happening at the absolute peak of the professional camera market, and the old rules of compromise have been completely burned to the ground. For generations, camera manufacturers forced visual artists into rigid, frustrating silos. If you were a hardcore sports and wildlife photojournalist who demanded absolute speed, an indestructible build, and a zero-compromise sensor that could read data faster than the blink of an eye, you had to carry a massive, heavy flagship monster that felt like a brick in your backpack. If you wanted a compact, agile body for run-and-gun wedding photography, travel, or independent cinema, you were forced to accept stripped-down features, weaker battery systems, and inferior processing power. You could have flagship dominance, or you could have practical mobility. You were never allowed to have both. But the engineering labs in Japan looked at this artificial division and decided to unleash a machine built for pure tactical disruption. A camera has emerged that doesn't just bridge the gap between heavy flagships and agile form factors. It completely redefines the mechanical limits of what a mirrorless system can execute. The Nikon Z8 Mark II. This is not a safe, iterative update or a basic firmware refresh. It is a calculated, deeply aggressive masterclass in modern imaging technology, engineered to pack the raw, uncompromised performance of an elite studio speed demon into an incredibly streamlined, bulletproof chassis, leaving the rest of the industry completely stranded in the past. To truly understand the massive technological shockwave the Z8 Mark II represents, you have to look directly at the engineering masterpiece sitting at the core of its imaging pipeline. The heart of this machine is a breathtaking, next-generation 45.7-megapixel full-frame multi-layer stacked CMOS sensor, paired symmetrically with a dual Expeed 7 processing architecture and a dedicated, hyper-specialized artificial intelligence coprocessor. By stacking the high-speed digital processing circuitry directly underneath the light-sensitive pixels, the Z8 Mark II achieves an almost instantaneous sensor readout speed that completely renders traditional mechanical shutters obsolete. In fact, just like its legendary predecessor, this camera features no mechanical shutter blades whatsoever. There are no moving curtains to wear out over time, no shutter vibrations to introduce microscopic blur, and absolutely zero rolling shutter distortion. Whether you are panning with a superbike screaming down a racetrack at 200 miles an hour or freezing the frantic, chaotic wings of a hummingbird in mid-flight, the electronic scan captures the geometric reality of the world with absolute, mathematically pristine perfection, completely free from the warped distortion that plagues standard mirrorless sensors. This lightning-fast data pipeline feeds directly into a predictive artificial intelligence tracking engine that operates in a realm of pure science fiction. The deep learning neural network has been trained on millions of diverse, real-world anatomical profiles, allowing the Z8 Mark II to accurately read human poses, skeletal structures, and joint movements in real time. If you are tracking a subject whose face is completely turned away from the lens, obscured by a helmet, or hidden behind dense environmental obstacles, the camera does not lose focus. It seamlessly reads the shape of the human form, locks onto the head, and tracks the subject with uncheckable persistence, waiting with absolute readiness to snap instantly back onto the iris the exact microsecond the eye becomes visible again. But Nikon did not stop at human tracking. The AI coprocessor skills its deep learning